Welcome to Boxing Burst, where the gloves come off and the truth hits harder today. Canelo and Crawford face off in a war of words you don't want to miss.
For sure, them belts coming with me. They coming home with me. I'm telling you right
You
now.
can see it, but it's gonna be difficult. You take it to your
I'm
mom.
taking them. And ain't nothing you gonna be able to do about it come fight
And
night.
I know Turki is in your corner,
I promise you.
but look, it's
All
gonna
right.
be very difficult. He's gonna be so mad that day. Believe me.
They promised no trash talk, but Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford quickly broke that vow as their press conference exploded into a fiery verbal war.
We are true fighters.
Yeah, true fighters.
True fighters.
True, yeah, of course. No, not YouTuber fighters.
Huh?
Not YouTuber fighters.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
They need to talk and talk about the fight because they want to say something. The people know we are great fighters. They want to put a great fight.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk.
I am sure in the end in the mid of September.
Mutual respect vanished fast as both men insulted each other like bitter rivals by now. You already know who fired the first shot.
I see you. I see you. You see I'm
I
different.
see you too.
You see I'm
I see
different
you.
than all the other
No,
ones.
I see you. No, you don't know different. You're nothing different.
I'm different.
Nothing different.
I'm different.
We'll see.
You gonna see.
We'll
You
see.
know it.
We'll see. We'll see.
gonna-
This bout is hailed as the century's biggest, but Canelo didn't care that Crawford, coming from light middleweight, could make it competitive. Canelo once scoffed at the matchup, feeling no gain in defeating someone who started as a lightweight. When asked if a loss to the two-division Undisputed champ would taint his legacy, the 34-year-old calmly replied, "He's not beating me. Don't worry. He's not." This fight is already part of boxing history.
He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. I think this fight is gonna be in the books of the history of boxing for sure. That's for sure.
He's talented, but I'm better, said Alvarez. Everyone talks about my strength, but I'm more than just power. At 34, Canelo is 3 years younger than Crawford, yet critics expect him to pass the torch. Still, he turned pro. At just 15, capturing 11 world titles across 67 fights, including 27 championship bouts.
Streets, you and Canelo, what would it look like?
Come on, man. Yeah, I know what I do. I ain't got to talk about it on the streets. I'm me against anybody. I ain't never gonna say another man gonna whoop me. So you know what I mean. That's your answer right there.
I guess in Guadalajara, you think it'd be a little different on the streets if Terence came to town?
I think every city, every place is different. No, it's different. But we don't talking about the streets. We're talking about boxing, the beautiful sport of boxing. So that's different, way different than the streets.
Crawford's resume includes 19 consecutive world title bouts, and undisputed status into weight class is a rare feat. Now he's aiming to become the first three-division undisputed male champ, saluting Claressa Shields, who did it in women's boxing, before boldly saying, "I'm taking those belts and nobody can stop me. Watch me."
However I gotta fight, I'm gonna win. Simple as that. I'm not gonna let somebody else force me or tell me how to fight. And when I've been fighting my whole life, you know, I won't be running. You know, I could tell you that. But I will be, you know, doing a lot of touching.
Get me wrong. He's a great fighter, like I say, he's no Canelo.
Canelo debuted professionally in 2005 at just 15. Crawford followed in 2008 at 20. Today, with his fan base roaring, Crawford says this is the matchup he's craved. "I called Canelo out. He's the last major name from the era of De La Hoya, Pacquiao, and Mayweather. We rose in the same time. I missed the big chances. This one's mine."
I'm very excited, motivated, because this is all about. I want to make history, and I'm very excited for this fight. He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. I think this fight is gonna.
Alvarez is now a Netflix star, fighting in Las Vegas's billion-dollar stadium. But Crawford confidently said, "Canelo can't beat me anywhere. You know what I bring, it's not about street talk." Canelo snapped back, "Forget the streets. This is the ring. This is real boxing."
So, however they rate me, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we got to fight, and I'm gonna win the fight. It's simple as that.
Can I ask you about if there's any rematch clause with this fight with Canelo?
No, it's not.
Is that something you push for?
No, I didn't.
And is any weight restrictions to the fight at all?
No, it's not.
Following that fiery moment, host Todd Grisham asked both fighters about their mindset. Crawford didn't hesitate. "He's not leaving it to judges. I control what I can in that ring. And that's beating Canelo clean. He's strong, sure, but anyone can get stopped. I always shine in big moments, and this time is mine."
Fighters would like to put on a weight restriction to this type of fight. Why didn't you want to do that?
Because I want him at his best. I don't want no excuses. I don't want no, reasons why, he didn't feel good or anything. I want him at his best.
Canelo has battled bigger and smaller fighters. Saying size means nothing as he faces an unbeaten division champ. "I've been there before." Canelo stated, "Size doesn't matter. I train to defeat the best. I'm a winner. I'm locked." And thanks to Netflix and Turkey, this event is happening and it's about legacy.
When would you say, from memory, that you first thought this fight was a real possibility, that you started thinking about this fight actually happening?
Well, I started thinking about it, a couple of years ago when they started talking about Spence fighting Canelo. Then just, sizing him up, like, all right, how tall is he? How long his arms and things like that. Just sizing him up like that and going to his fights and things like that.
With battle lines drawn, both men spoke to their supporters ahead of the clash. "I always bring fireworks," said Canelo. "Thanks to my fans being in the arena or watching when I get the win." Crawford also called out, "Suit up," he smiled. "We're taking gold home. This is a massive night for boxing."
Of experts, I think Canelo's not the same fighter. His punch output's a lot less. What do you think, considering the last 12 months or so? Is he the same fighter he was maybe a few years ago?
I think he is. I just think he just wasn't up for the skull fight, and I think different fighters bring different energies out of other fighters.
A lot of people are judging you on the Madrimov fight, saying you struggled moving up in weight. You're going further up in weight, and they're saying that's going to go against you based on the Madrimov fight. How do you kind of...
Crawford is eyeing boxing history, looking to be the first three-weight undisputed male champion. And he's all in. The showdown happens at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas with a capacity of 65,000. It's also the first ever boxing event promoted by UFC's Dana White. This isn't just a match, it's a takeover.
Oscar De La Hoya wastes my time with this question.
Yeah, we saw Oscar De La Hoya trying to say that the fight was going to take place maybe in the daytime.
Yeah, this is what I want from you, to say his name. I decide with Dana White to have a breakfast in MGM at 10 a.m. inshallah. Then we will go to the arena to have the fights quick.
Turki Alalshikh, Saudi Arabia's general entertainment authority head, rarely appears at pressers, despite funding boxing's boom for 18 months. But this time, he spoke loudly, calling out the fighters to stop playing games. He slammed boring Tom and Jerry matches and demanded knockouts and carnage at the press tour's kickoff in Vegas and New York. Media questions were all for him before either fighter got the mic. It took 25 minutes before Crawford or Canelo said anything. While Saudi officials say it's about diversifying the economy, critics call it a PR ploy. Still, Alalshikh's all in, launching mega Netflix fights and building a global empire. The Saudi boxing machine isn't slowing and he's steering it.
Dinner to Carbon, and in the night we will watch Conjuring because it will launch in September. Oscar De La Hoya wastes my time with this question. Of course, this is in the peak. This is the boxing, the sport number one in the world. This is Canelo and Crawford.
His name is Turki Alalshikh, His Excellency, and he's the mastermind of Saudi Arabia's boxing surge. With no budget limits. "I hate Tom and Jerry boxing," he said, blasting cowardly fighters in the cartoon. "I want to see broken faces and blood. That's true boxing." He didn't make new rules, but his message hit hard. Don't play it safe. Canelo and Crawford won't be allowed to disappoint, intentional or not, in Riyadh's face-off. Crawford stood unshaken as Canelo stared him down. Alvarez recently beat Williams' Skull in a dull decision win. Fans booed as Skull ran and Canelo barely chased. That marked his first Saudi fight under the new deal, if that's the tone. Patience is thin. This is no longer sport, it's power, politics, and pressure.
This is what I want from you to say his name. I decided with Dana White to have a breakfast in MGM at 10 a.m. inshallah. Then we will go to the arena to have the fights quick, and after that we will go dinner to Gabon, and in the night we will watch Conjuring because it will launch in September. You waste.
I want to speak to you about some of Turki's comments. He said he doesn't want Tom and Jerry, people running away in the ring. And what did you make of that?
I agree with that. You know, people want to see a good fight. And I agree with that.
Do you think
Alalshikh, because you know, people come and spend money to see a great fight, and if the other fighter come and run all the night and don't make a good fight, it's deceptional.
At 37, Crawford is jumping to divisions 14 pounds to face Canelo at super middleweight. If he decides to stand and trade, fans may get the war Alalshikh wants, but it's uncertain. No one tells me how to fight, said Crawford. I've done this forever. I'm not running, but I'll land my shots. He entered the Madrimah bout with 11 straight knockouts. Canelo, 34, claims this fight belongs in history books, but recent showings say otherwise. His match against Skolak sparked just a dull win. Winning's all that matters, said Canelo. But had he listened to Alalshikh at the dinner table or press conference, he'd know fans and His Excellency demand more than just a W. Tazzy Brown of Fights.com in Australia praised Alalshikh for reigniting the sport and asked if this battle could rival Marvin Hagler's classics. Alvarez was honored by the comparison, but facts remain he hasn't scored a KO since 2021, when he stopped Caleb Plant in round 11. Maybe Alalshikh will mention that before the fight. The press event closed with the traditional face-off as Canelo and Crawford stood locked in ahead of their undisputed clash on September 13th in Vegas.
You heard His Excellency saying no more Tom and Jerry, no more running, but you're moving up 2 weight classes. It's not going to be smart for you to stand there and hammer it out with this guy. So how do you kind of balance that, not running, but being elusive in fighting Canelo?
However I gotta fight, I'm gonna win. Simple as that. I'm not gonna let somebody else force me or tell me how to fight. And when I've been fighting my whole life, you know, I won't be running.
In an interview with Boxing Social, Shane Mosley was asked whether Crawford truly has the skills to beat Alvarez. He seemed unsure. I don't see it happening, Mosley said. Canelo has serious skills to Crawford's not the only technician. Here, he added, if both were at 154 and Canelo was still in his prime, maybe I believe it. But at 168 now, I don't think Crawford wins.
Your Excellency, Tazzy Brown from AustraliaFightHot.com. First of all, congratulations for everything you've done for boxing since you've come into the game. You've given us many great fights, and you continue with Your Excellency to keep giving us greater fights. You're a boxing historian yourself. Do you think this fight resembles Marvin Hagler in the 80s? The fact that Canelo and Terence Crawford are the 2 great pound-for-pound legends, both first ballot Hall of Famers.
Canelo has reigned over super middleweight since 2018. After moving up from middleweight, he's already defeated stars like Golovkin, Charlo, and Munguia while holding the crown. But if Crawford shocks the world, the undefeated 37-year-old won't just claim the belts, he'll rewrite history. He'd become the first male boxer to unify 3 divisions. That's bigger than a win, it's a message to legends across generations. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more coverage of boxing's most historic matchup.
I think Canelo's too big for Crawford. I think Canelo's too big for Crawford. I think that the reason why, if Crawford was a mover like the rest of us, then maybe he can have a good chance with Canelo. But I think that being that Crawford is a fighter, that's gonna be his problem. He's a fighter. He wants to fight, and he can move a little bit, but his heart is not in moving. So he's gonna have to sit there and fight with Canelo. And if you sit there and fight with Canelo, he's that much bigger than you. Then I don't know.